Okay, so the decision. Yes, let's get to that. Now, I'm not a stickler for labels. In fact, I pretty much despise them as the lazy man's effort to make conclusions and form opinions without having to really think. So in a way, I have to clarify some commonly used RV terms as I understand them, and as form context for my decision. Like the word boondocking, for example. Now, most of us think of boondocking as RVing without hookups and picture it maybe in the Arizona desert or some rustic, remote mountaintop. Of course, boondocking can be done anywhere, including campgrounds, if power, water, and sewage hookups aren't used. Now, another term that might confuse is RV full-timing. Are you a full-timer if you're on the road, say, for 3 months at a time, home for a few days, and then off onto the road again? Or does that disqualify you from using the term? Is the mere existence and availability of a sticks and bricks home, regardless if or how much it's used, a disqualifier as a full-timer? Does anyone really care that much how the term might apply to anyone else? And if someone considers themselves a full-timer, who are we to say otherwise? Because in their mind, when they're on the road, that's their home and they consider themselves full-time. See how the use of various terms restricts our thinking? People living a lifestyle of travel who by their very nature reject societal norms to live as full-time RVers are brave indeed, and the restrictive use of these types of terms is unnecessary and the very antithesis of what we're doing. So I've made my decision, and in doing so, refuse to be pigeonholed by labels. And part of my decision is that I'm keeping my sticks and bricks, but I consider myself a full-timer. Oh, what a rebel, eh? But it gets worse to inside-the-box thinkers. I'm going to be an RVer without even owning an RV in the traditional sense. Now, I know, you're all thinking, okay, that's going too far, Rick. RVing with no RV? Well, I said I won't have an RV in the traditional sense, and that's the problem with being a middle child. Always upsetting the apple cart and never accepting things as they are. It's not hard to understand how my parents loved me the most of the 5 kids. That was me ducking from my rotten apples my siblings are throwing. Anyway, okay, seriously now. I am keeping my sticks and bricks home and calling myself a full-time RVer. The reasons for this is I explained in episode 141, and the link is in the description below for those interested. Now, as for deciding on which RV rig best suits my needs, before revealing how I intend to do this, I want to explain what I discovered over the 4 years of research I did preparing for this life-altering event. And these are things any person or couple should think hard about and consider in context before embarking on full-time RVing. And the first has to do with boondocking, something I love and a major reason for me to want this lifestyle. I love the idea of being away from the crowds and the masses and being in nature and independent, and boondocking affords that all for me. The reality is, however, that boondocking is not necessarily all that easy to do. And when I say boondocking, I'm not talking about Walmart parking lot camping. That's just a transient luxury. Walmart, Cracker Barrel, and various truck stop chains afford RVers to stop off and rest on their way to somewhere else. No, by boondocking I mean unconnected to the conveniences of power, water, and sewage hookups, away from the sardine cans known as in-season campgrounds. And I mean no disrespect to campground owners nor their patrons. It's just not my thing. The problem arises, however, when you try to boondock east of the Mississippi River. Now, yes, there is boondocking everywhere in the eastern U.S., but it is far less available, far harder to find, and more restrictive than out west in the BLM lands of Arizona, California, and all the other states. So if you are based in or traveling in the east wanting to boondock, well, good luck. You'll spend far more time searching for nice spots, if indeed you can find them at all. Now, of course, mileage differs for everyone, but studying a map constantly trying to find a boondocking spot takes away from what I'm trying to achieve and really doesn't work. But that's just me. Now, there are 2 more issues I found in my research that need to be addressed, and that's coming up next.